let's start with this. Usually a personal development journey has 4 steps that needs to be traversed, one after the other. So the first phase is the physical or the material plane, right? Where everyone else is. We don't know what we're doing. We're just literally living and thinking and talking like robots. We don't know what's going on, right? Then there is the psychological plane. This is the stop that we have to, this is the phase that we have to go through. Otherwise, we cannot heal those past wounds, which I'm going to talk about a lot today, right? After that, we have the spiritual phase. So we have to pass through the psychological phase in order to get to spiritual phase. That's what some people call spiritual bypass. If we don't go through the healing of our childhood wounds, then it's a spiritual bypass and the journey is not complete. Then after that, there is a transcendent phase, which it is kind of a little bit even deeper than spiritual phase, where like we are all one and we are here for a purpose that's very transcendental. But you're absolutely right. We have to take steps and we cannot jump over the steps. We have to heal first. Yes. Traumatized, that's what we say. Like pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional.
Ooh, I love that.
So that's what
Okay.
happened to me. So I had pain, physical and mental and emotional, but I didn't suffer. That was my choice. And what and when you say how, what you tell it yourself, all these things that I'm telling you right now, that this is the experience that I call for, in my life. How can I learn about it? What is the silver lining? All those things. And then when people do stuff to us, well, this was kind of different, but people do stuff to us, say horrible things, our spouse doesn't agree with us, all those things, we would remember that they are also traumatized. So whatever they do, so here's the second part of my talk, actually, where we see, like, here's the thing, no one in this world wakes up in the morning and says, oh, I'm gonna do a wrong thing. No one does that. The criminals, murderers, they don't get up and say, oh, I'm gonna do the wrong thing. They all at some level feel this is the right thing to do. So that's what's going on in people's minds. Like we expect, we judge, we say, okay, my husband shouldn't have said that. But here's the thing, in his point of view, he had all the right. It was justifiable. It was logical to do whatever he said or whatever he did, right? So when we look at it this way, we don't suffer because nothing becomes personal. The reason we suffer, our inner child, that mechanism in our brain that is very naive and what is built until 7 years old, feels, oh, it's all about me, right? Because we, like, for example, in childhood, the brain is so underdeveloped. Our brain gets fully developed 27, 28, maybe never. So when you have like you're 3, which by the way, I think like when you're 3, you have a cat. Literally, we expect our children to do stuff, but their brain is so underdeveloped. At that time, they wouldn't think, oh, my mom and my dad were upset and they were fighting with each other. No, the child takes it personally, right? Well, it's my fault, right? It's all about me. So now we are carrying this mechanism to adulthood. So whatever happens in the outside, unconsciously, we take it personally. That's why we get triggered. We feel criticized, right? So now if we know this dynamics, then we don't expect anyone to do anything. Expectation becomes irrelevant. As Buddha says, expectation is the root of suffering. They expect people to say something or do something when they literally cannot. I always say, I love this mantra. I actually wanted to call my book that. You cannot expect a cat to bark.
I love it.
Whenever we expect people to do anything, say anything, or not say anything, it's literally, I'm not even exaggerating, it's literally